I am Curry Hawley, and I am the licensing attorney here at the South Carolina Department of Consumer Affairs. Welcome to our 2024 Pawnbroker renewal process. Today, we're going to give you just a brief review or tutorial for those of you who haven't done it before on how to submit your pawnbroker renewal online. Here with me today is Deborah Friday Lockard. She is the licensing supervisor. Okay, so first, a legal disclaimer. This presentation is not meant to serve as a substitute for reading the various laws discussed, seeking legal counsel, or otherwise requesting department guidance and/or interpretations on the laws it administers and enforces. The presentation merely serves as an introduction and overview. Okay, so who is the South Carolina Department of Consumer Affairs? We are South Carolina's Consumer Protection Agency, and we began operations in 1975. And our mission is to protect consumers from inequities in the marketplace through advocacy, mediation, enforcement, and education. We are divided into 6 divisions, but you'll see we're, if you look on this slide, you'll see that there's a Commission on Consumer Affairs. The commission has 9 members, 4 are appointed by the governor, 4 are appointed by the legislature, and the 9th is Secretary of State, who is currently Mark Hammond. And they select the administrator. Right now, our administrator is Carrie Gruby-Leibarker. And then you'll see there's a council of advisors. So none of the commissioners are from our regulated industries, but that council of advisors that advise our administrator, they are all from members of our regulated industries. And then you'll see we have our Consumer Services Division. They are the department who takes, you're probably most familiar with Consumer Affairs. They take complaints and mediate complaints between businesses and consumers. And then you'll see our Administration Division. And then we've got our Advocacy Division, and they intervene on behalf of consumers in matters such as utility and insurance rate increases. Then you've got our Public Information Education Division. They help put on things like this webinar today, and they are basically our main education portal for businesses, consumers, and the media, and they make presentations, sponsor webinars, and disseminate press releases. Then you've got the Identity Theft Unit, which we call the IDTU unit. They give you tips on ways that you can proactively reduce your risk of becoming a victim of ID theft, as well as providing guidance should you be the unfortunate victim of ID theft. And lastly, you'll see there's the Legal Division, of which Deborah and I are a part. We assist the administrator in administering and enforcing laws that fall within the department's jurisdiction. We process over 26,000 regulatory filings annually, and we regulate about 15 programs or industries. We're going to be having another one added to us this year. Okay, so here's our website. And this is our homepage. If you go here, you will see like that how do I in the middle. And if you go there and hover over that, you'll see this list. And if you can go here, you want to file a complaint online. You can go here if you want to go to the licensing portal. That's how do I get a license. You'll go to our, you can read all about our programs there. Then background to business, that's where you can find out who's licensed. Report identity theft. Go here if you want to report a scam, and go here if you want to request a presentation. Okay, so if you go to that, if you hover over that business resources / laws there in the green bar, you will see this list. And there's Pawnbrokers. If you click on Pawnbrokers, you will go to our Pawnbroker page. And that is where you can find a link to the statute, the regulation, and forms, anything that you might need. All right, the Pawnbroker Act. South Carolina Pawnbroker Act states that no one may carry on the business of a pawnbroker without first obtaining a certificate of authority for each location from the Department of Consumer Affairs. All right, certificates of authority must be renewed annually by June 30th, which is why we're having this today. If a certificate of authority is not renewed by June 30th, The department will assess a late fee in addition to the renewal fee. Also, as a reminder, these certificates of authority are not transferable. So if you sell your store, not only must you contact the department to discuss the transfer of pledged goods and the legal requirements of shutting down your business, but the buyer, the person who buys the business from you, must also file for an initial certificate of authority from the department. All right, let's talk fees. The renewal filing fee is $275 per location, which is the same if you want to add a location. It is also $275 for a new location, or just if you are new in general. All right. Here is our contact information. You might want to screenshot this. You'll see Ashley's information there, and you'll see Deborah's information. If you can't reach Ashley for some reason, then you can check in with Deborah. If you have any questions about compliance, the requirements for closing your business, selling your business, changing your address of your business, you can contact me, and you'll see my email. It's still my old name there, kboyer@scconsumer.gov. And then you'll see Jim Copeland's contact information there. Hopefully you won't need to talk to Jim, or Jim won't need to contact you, because that means probably something might have gone wrong. All right, now we are going to start with the tutorial on doing your renewal online. Now I'm going to switch it over to Deborah. So if you'll just be patient with us for about 1 minute while we transfer the presentation from my computer over to hers. I'll be right back to you.
Welcome, everyone. It's Pawnbroker renewal time again, and the years are certainly going by fast, and I can't believe that it's actually already the end of May. Hope you guys are doing okay. Today, I will be going over the renewal process and requirements for South Carolina pawnbrokers and employees. We have already received many renewal applications from you this year online. Now, paper renewal packages can still be mailed to the department, but filing online is quick and easy. After June 30th, your pawnbroker license is expired. So go ahead and submit those applications, upload the required documents so we can process your application. We have a new license examiner, Ashley Moultrie, and she's just excited as I am about getting those renewals processed. Now, our online system is called the Licensure Gateway. The website address is dcagateway.sc.gov. Now, this online system is used for 15 regulated programs that the department regulates, such as prepaid legal, motor club, athlete agent, registered creditors, continued care, retirement, credit counseling organizations, and discount medical plans, just to name some of them. We would like to thank all of those who have already registered and started using the system and taking advantage of it. Now, this system will allow pawnbroker administrators to have access to this information at any time. So that means that the administrators can file their renewals at any time, 24/7. To use the Licensure Gateway, you must register. Now, if you have registered already, you do not need to register again. You will just log in using your email address and your password you first registered with. But since we do have some new pawnbrokers, we wanted to go through the process of how to register to use the Licensure Gateway. You would just click on Register Now. You will enter your name and email address and verify that email address, then select Next. Just always remember that if you've already registered, you do not need to register again. You would create a password and then verify that password and then simply select Next. You would verify your email address. Make sure you want to use that email address and then select Next. You would then receive a confirmation page. You may print this page for your records. Remember to always keep this information in a safe, secure place. And then you would just click Exit. Now, you're all set to log into the licensure gateway with your email address and password. Now, let's talk a little bit about becoming an organization administrator. First of all, what is an organization administrator? The organization administrator will be the person or persons at the pawnbroker location. They will be responsible for processing initials, renewals, printing certificates, paying fees, making changes. To become an administrator, you must submit an administrator's request to the department online. So let's go through the process of submitting an administrator's request to the department. Once you've logged into the licensure gateway, you would click on Organization Administration. You would enter your personal Social Security number. Now, the system uses the personal Social Security number to consolidate an individual's license and to have access to all of the information in the system. So let's take this for example. If Joe Smith has a license as a prepaid legal representative for Company A, and then he has a motor club license for Company B, okay? But he's also the organization administrator for Company C. All of that information will be visible on Joe's home page, and it's all based on his Social Security number. So you would just, after you've entered the information, your Social Security number, you're just going to select search. Now, if you get to this screen here and you get an error message, most likely you have already registered and you're trying to register again. So just reach out to the department. Ashley will be glad to help you with that, and we'll be able to assist you. But if you don't get an error message, which we hope you don't, then you would just select continue to go through the application. Now, using the drop-down arrow, or just begin typing, select the name of your business from the list. Now, in this list here, all of our licensees are in this list. We have 15 different programs, and all the licensees are in this list. So you got to make sure that you're selecting the correct business and they have the correct address. Once you make sure of that, you're going to go ahead and you're just going to submit your application to the department, submit your request to the department. Also, the corporate names are only in this list, not the DBA names. For example, let's take Pawn Exclusive LLC, and they do business as Pawn Here. So Pawn Here would not be in the list because they are the DBA name. But Pawn Exclusive LLC would be in the list. Sometimes we find out that you guys are looking for the DBA name and they're not in the list. You would actually be returned to the home page, and you're going to see a banner, and the banner is going to indicate that a pending admin request has been found. Now, no business information is available yet. You see, there's nothing under here yet. But once we approve your application, you're going to see information under here, under your contact information. Now, if your request has not been approved within 24 hours, please just give us a call, contact us. After your request has been approved, you will be able to see the business information. So you notice you see the corporation down there, and then your business will also be listed down there under organizations. Now, let's start the renewal process. So now that you have registered to use the licensure gateway, you're going to go ahead on and log in to dcagateway.sc.gov, and that starts the renewal application process. Now, there are some requirements before you submit your application, okay? You're going to make sure you have your current bond continuation in the amount of $16,275. showing the bond coverage periods, showing those dates. You're going to need the pawn ticket, front and back, the forfeiture notice, front and back, the current proof of insurance. You're going to need that. There are also some questions that's going to be on the application that you need to have answered. So you need to gather the answers for these questions before you begin the application, because you will not be able to proceed through the application without having these answers. So you're going to gather what's the largest loan amount made at the location in the prior calendar year. What's the total interest collected on the pawn transaction at this location in the prior calendar year? Also, what was the total dollar amount loaned at the location in the prior calendar year? And what was the total number of pawn transactions made at the location in the prior year? So make sure you gather all of this information, because you're going to need it to get your application submitted. Now, sometimes you may ask, why do we need to upload or have a copy of the pawn ticket, forfeiture notice, and every year? The department is working on that continuously, but for now, please go ahead and upload these documents so we can get you processed. The process is quick and easy, especially when we have those documents uploaded. It's very important. Now, let's log into the licensure gateway, dcagateway.sc.gov. Once you're logged in, you're going to click on expiring soon. Click here to renew. But let's go over what's on this page before we continue the application. So home is just what it is. Home, you can click on home to go back to this is your home page. User options allows you to apply for a license or become an administrator. If you had another company that we license here and you wanted to become the administrator for that company, you would go under user options to apply and submit that admin request to us. Account profile, it allows you to change your email address. You can change your email address by going through account profile. Contact information gives you our contact information to contact the department, and log out is just what it is. Log out. Now, background check. If a background check is required for you, we will let you know. Background checks are only required for new employees. Most employees doing the renewal do not require a background check, but you do have to fill out the attestation form, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. So you see your registration number, your pawnbroker company number here. You also see the expiration date that this Deborah's deal, they're going to be expiring 6/30/2024. Tells you the number of organizations you have. If you have 4 or 5 organizations, it will list 5 there. Now, unauthorized apps is not required for pawnbrokers. The system is used for 15 different programs that the department regulates, and so unauthorized apps is not required for you. Pending invoices. Say if you had submitted your application already and you wanted to go back and pay that pending invoices, you can actually log in and pay the pending invoices here. Sometimes you may need copies of paid invoices. So the system keeps up with paid invoices. You can actually go back and print a copy of a invoice that was paid. And under the organization name tells you that the name of this organization is Deals on Deals. You can search by name, search by city, and you can also search by state. If you had a lot of businesses or organizations, companies that you have, you can search different ways. Okay, so that's just a little breakdown of what's on the home page. So you're going to click on expiring soon because you're ready to submit your renewal application. Okay. Now, under options, you're going to click on the renewal application. And then you're going to see some instructions telling you how much the fee is, and per location. You're going to have to click on I agree, and then you're going to click on next. You find instructions telling you about how the bond, that the bond is $16,275. So you're going to read over the instructions, click I agree, and next. Now the application populates for you. The good thing about this system is that everything basically populates for you, but you want to review that information and make sure everything is correct before submitting it to us. So you're going to review the company information and then select next. Then you will review the general information. Make sure the phone numbers are right. Make sure the email addresses are right. And then select next. Then you're going to review the corporate information. Now, this would be the person that would receive legal documents for the pawn shop. So whoever would receive your legal documents for the pawn shop would be entered here. Also, it's usually the person that you have listed at the South Carolina Secretary of State's office. Now, let's take a little bit of time to look at this page here. This page shows you the locations information, the business owners information, employees. Now, if you wanted to add, say during the renewal, you can add a location at any time. But if you wanted to add a location, you would just click on add, and it will allow you to enter in the address and add that information. You have to click on verify for each employee. And also you have to click on verify for each employee down here, location up here. So each location you have to click on verify. Each employees you have to click on verify. Okay. So say we clicked on that first location, you would scroll down and you would make sure all the information is correct. An asterisk beside the question indicates that the department requires an answer. So anywhere you see an asterisk, we have to have an answer. It has to be filled in. You would continue to review the location information, and then you would enter in the surety bonds information and answer the questions, and then you would click save and verify. That's why it's so important that you get those answers up front. Now, notice that the location is green. So we verified the first location and it's turned green. So you're going to follow the same process to verify the second location. See that location is green? Follow that same process and verify that second location. So now you follow the same process. Now you notice that both locations are green. They have been verified. So now you're going to verify the business owners, employees here. So you click on the first employee, which is Deborah Friday Lockard. Okay. So you can also inactivate an employee. If you want to inactivate an employee during the renewal, you just click on the active box and select inactive. But just review all of the information, make sure the information is correct, and then you're going to submit that application to the department. And then notice that the employee has turned green and is now checked. So you would do the same thing for the second employee. We know that some of our pawnbrokers have lots of employees, so it takes some time to go through all of them, but you have to verify each employee. Now look at here. Great news. The location has been verified and all of your employees have been verified. So now you're ready to proceed through the application. Next, you're going to get questions. You're going to answer all of the questions. If you notice that all of the questions have asterisks beside them, those red asterisks, so they need to be answered. You will not be able to go through the application without answering these questions. And then you would just select next. Now, you've entered the entire application, so you're going to get what's called a verification page. Now, the verification page gives you an outbreak or outline of everything that you've answered, how you answer those questions. So just review the questions, just make sure they are correct, and then you will be able to submit the application once you reviewed it. You can go back and make changes. We'll cover that too. So if you want to make changes, you can click on, say if I really didn't understand the instructions, I want to go back. You can click on instructions, you can click on the company lookup, the general information, anything that you think you might need to make a change on, you can click on the green topic or either the checkbox and make changes. And then once you make those changes, you'll be able to submit your application. So now this is just another part of where you answered all the questions and then you select next. You're going to click I agree, you agree to everything, and then you're going to submit your application. Now, once you submit your application, the good thing about the system is that you can actually pay online. No more paper checks. You don't have to mail checks into the department, money orders. You don't have to take time getting stamps. You still can mail checks to the department. You do have the ability to do that. But believe me, paying online is quick and easy. If you have any problems with paying online, you can call us and we'll be happy to help you. Ashley can walk you through that process, and I can walk you through that process. We'll be happy to help you. So you would just click pay online now. If you wanted to mail a check, you can select send check or money order. Now that check or money order needs to be received within 7 days. Try to get it to us within 7 days, okay? You can send a check or money order. Good thing too, there's no fee to pay online. You don't have to pay a convenience fee to pay online. And we also have user guides for administrators. And those user guides will walk you through the process of how to pay online. Okay? So now let's just go ahead and let's select pay online now. I'm going to show you how easy it is. So if you select pay online now. Let's see here. You're going to also select pay online now again. Then you will select whether or not you want to use a credit or a debit card by clicking the arrow. Then select next. So you're going to select whether you want to pay by your credit card, whether you want to use your debit card, and then just click next. Then you're going to enter the required information. All of your required information will need to be entered. And then you're going to enter the credit or debit card information and then select next. Now, once you've entered your information, you're going to review the transaction detail. If you need to make changes, you can click on edit. See the edit buttons here? You can make changes for the payment information. You can make changes for the customer information if you need to make any changes. Now, the department's payment processor is South Carolina sc.gov. So your receipt will show their name. If you have any problems with your credit card payment, you may contact them, sc.gov, and that number there, which is 803-771-0131, extension 1, okay? If you have any problems also with the payment and you need questions answered about us, feel free to give Ashley or myself a call, and we'll be happy to help you through the process. So if you're satisfied with everything, you would just submit your payment. Now, during this process here, it says please wait. So just do that, because if you do not, it could cause your payment not to process, or it could cause duplicate payments, and you don't want that. So it only takes about 30 seconds to just sit there until this process takes place. You may print a copy of your payment confirmation and then select continue. I like to keep records, so most likely I'll be printing a copy of it. And then you can print a copy of your application receipt. Shows that you had 2 Pawnbroker locations, $550. Now you're back on the home page. You've submitted your application, you paid your fee. Now you have one more step that needs to take place. That's uploading documents. Uploading documents for faster processing. If we get those documents uploaded, you can definitely get your certificate back to you quick, and you can get it posted on your wall. To upload documents, you're going to click on the blue tile for the business. Check the status of your renewal. So to upload documents, first off, click here to check the status of your renewal. Then under current applications, it says click here for the status and required documents. Okay. So clicking on plus upload allows you to upload documents. Now we only accept GIF, BMPs, TIFs, JPGs, and PDFs are only accepted files. Most of us use the PDF files. All documents must be uploaded before we can process your renewal application. So you can click on you also can click on view instructions to review information regarding each required documents. So if you just click on the plus upload, you can upload that PDF, upload those documents for us. If you don't understand, say, I need more information on the pawn ticket, I need more information on the forfeiture notice, we got instructions. You click on the instructions here, and it'll tell you exactly what a pawn ticket is and what's required. And like I said, you can always contact us if you have any questions. Now, once you have uploaded all the documents, you see where it says view files up here? That lets you know that those files have been uploaded. And if you want to look at the files, you just click on it, click on view files, and you can see a copy of what you uploaded. Now, once all the required documents have been uploaded, you can click back, you can click on home here, or you can click back to license at the very bottom. Your application is under review. So you see your view files. We're going to go back home. So now we're back on the home page. Your application will be reviewed in the order it was received by the department. You may select log out. Contact person on file will receive an email once the application has been approved, or actually may have to send a deficiency letter if more information is required. Now, keep in mind that the administrator can log in and submit the application anytime. Notice that expiring soon is all gone, and now you submitted your application and it's under review. You can also see files that have been uploaded in the past under files. You will get an approval email telling you that the application registration you submitted to South Carolina Department of Consumer Affairs has been approved. That's the news that you want to hear, that your application has been approved. It tells you may download your certificate from SCDCA's online system, tells you to log into the gateway, and you'll be able to follow the instructions to print your certificate. Now, printing certificates, we don't get a lot of questions regarding printing certificates like we were at one time, but we did want to let you know that you are available to print your pawnbroker certificate of authority, and the process is quick and easy. Certificates are not required to be printed on colored paper any longer. We had to print certificates on colored paper a while back, but it's not required now. And certificate must be posted in a conspicuous place at the business location. When our investigators come out, they want to see that certificate and see that it has a good expiration date on it. Mr. Ken Middlebrooks and his team will definitely be looking for that. Keep in mind that certificates are not transferable or assignable. And we also have the administrator user guide on our website, consumer.sc.gov. You'll be able to find the user guides there that gives you a lot of information. Now, let's go over how your certificate should look. This is very important. You want to review the certificate before posting it to your wall. Look closely at the name. Make sure the name is spelled right. Make sure that the address is correct here. Also, you're going to look at the expiration date. Make sure the expiration date is current. What if you filed your application? It came back that it expires 6/30/2024. Not 6/30/2024, but yeah, so if it's expired, then you want to make sure that you contact the department, let us know that something is wrong. And also make sure that the administrator's signature is on there. Carrie Groovy Liebarker is our administrator at the department. Now, our user guide, Ashley, Curry, and I will be here to assist you during the renewal process. We do have user guides, and this user guide covers administrators how to log into the licensure gate for the first time, licensure gateway for the first time, becoming an organization administrator, how to apply for a license, certificate of authority or registration. Pawnbroker is called, their certificates are called certificate of authority. Uploading documents in the licensure gateway, the best one. Approving an unauthorized representative, which is not required for pawnbrokers, but you're going to see that in your guide. Paying invoices by credit card, paying invoices by check, and printing certificates. So if you have problems printing certificates, look at that user guide. It should walk you straight through it. Now, before you submit your questions to us in the chat box, we do have some frequently asked questions that we wanted to go over that may help you also. Okay, after I have submitted my pawnbroker renewal application online, how long will it take before I receive my certificate? The department reviews applications and the date order received. If documents are required, the department will send you a deficiency letter by email. Once your renewal application is approved, the contact email we have on file will receive an email informing them that their application has been approved and that you may just log into the licensure gateway and print the certificate. Now, we no longer mail certificates unless a request is made or if we have no email address on file, or if the application is mailed into the department, we will mail you a certificate. Now, how do I print my certificate? We just went over that. We do have that on our website, and so you can take a look at that in the user guide. Okay, are we able to have more than one administrator? Yes, you are. Businesses may submit the required number of requests to the department for approval. Why are articles of incorporation the certificate of existence, forfeiture notice, pawn tickets, surety bond continuations, insurance coverage, and criminal background check. The attestation forms require every renewal, even though there are no changes from the previous year. So going forward, the articles of incorporation is not needed. They're not required with renewal applications. The forfeiture notice, pawn tickets, surety bond continuation, the proof of insurance coverage, and the criminal background attestation forms are required for compliance. We are looking into not requiring the forfeiture notice and the pawn tickets, but for now, please upload those so we can get your application process. Can an individual work at a pawn shop if he or she has a felony? No, but there is one exception. The person was already a pawnbroker before July 1st, 1988, and convicted before July 1st, 1988. Okay, what must I submit to the department if I wish to close my pawnbroker business? Pawnbrokers must notify Department of Consumer Affairs of their intention to close their business 30 days prior to the anticipated date of closure. Pawnbrokers must send a letter to all customers with active pawn at least 15 days prior to the date of closure, notifying them when the pawn shop will close. The letter should include information on how the pledger can redeem the pawn items. The pawnbroker is not required to take interest because that would, by law, renew the transaction. Now, where can I find information on my registration with South Carolina Secretary of State's office? Their website is www.sos.sc.gov. Their phone number is listed there, 803-734-2158. How do I change my business address? You can email the address change to legal. Email it to legal@scconsumer.gov or contact the department and we'll be happy to help you. A few more frequently asked questions here. Let's see here. What is an attestation form? An attestation form has to be completed by the administrator or contact person attesting that a national criminal records check has been completed for each employee, owner, or listing. This form is required and should be uploaded to the licensure gateway. The form can be found, that's on the department's website, but we require that form every year. What happens when a new employee initial application is received by mail, email, or online? The department will send a CBC package to the employee's home address with detailed instructions on obtaining a criminal background check. Packages will no longer be mailed to the pawn shop, but they will be mailed to the employee's home. Okay? Why am I not receiving my email when my application is approved? Well, make sure your contact person's email address is correct. Contact the department and we'll try and see what's going on, but just make sure that contact person's email address is correct. Okay, and then just a reminder that there will be a pawnbroker compliance webinar coming soon. They're going to talk about laws, requirements, rules, standards, and advisory. And Ken Middlebrooks and Joni Green and their team will be presenting that webinar, and we're all looking forward to that. Just a few reminders, okay? Submit your renewals early, call us with questions, file online, and upload documents as it's quick and easy. Renew May 1st through June 30th. You have to June 30th to submit your renewal. Organization Administrator User Guides is available on the online filing page of the department's website. And also, I wanted to let you know that we're so pleased with the number of applications that we've gotten in, but we're ready for those other applications to be submitted also. And this is the staff contact information. You can do a screenshot of it. We're so happy to have Ashley Mutru with us. She's taken Pawnbrokers and doing a very good job at it. So we're happy to have her to work for the department. If you have any questions, you can contact Ashley or myself. You can talk to Curry for compliance issues. And then, of course, you don't want to hear from Jim Copeland. We hope not anyway. Well, we just want to thank you guys so much for joining in on today's webinar. The webinar will be it's going to be made available on the department's website. If you have any questions, any concerns, please contact the department, and everyone have a fantastic day.